Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have another 10 pens currently inked up for this week. I think let's go through these briefly one by one. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail and then we'll do a writing sample. So from left to right we have a Visconti and Medici, and this is in the gold and black. We have a Visconti Medici il Magnifico in the Lapis Lazuli. We have a Visconti Homo Sapiens, and this is the Caput Mundi. We have a Visconti Homo Sapiens Demostone in the blue Sapphire. We have a Visconti Homo Sapiens Jade, a Visconti Homo Sapiens Midnight in Florence. We have an Esterbrook Estie Oversize, and this is in the Cosmic Wine. We have a Esterbrook Estie Oversize in the Gold Rush Prospector. We have a London Pen Company Christopher 14 with a faceted cap, and this is in the Conway Stewart Honey Noire. And we have a Ryan Krusac Legends 16 in the Dragon Slayer. So I think let's take a look at these pens in a little bit more detail. So this is a very beautiful material for me. This is the Visconti Medici, and this is the golden black. Now, I do have this in a brown. I actually had two. I did sell one to a friend just because I wasn't using it as much, mostly because it was two brown pens and I didn't want to brown inks inked up usually. So I found that I was not writing with one of them, so I sold it. But I still do like the Visconti Medicis, so I decided this year I would pick up this one, and this is a golden black. So you can see there, it's made of this acro silk material, which basically is acrylic, acro for acrylic, and silk as in silk fibers. They blend it together and you get this really beautiful effect going on. So I decided I would pick this one up, and this was new. So I'm really glad that I was able to pick this one up. It's a Powervac filler. It's a single reservoir. It's not a double reservoir. There's no ink window. You've got the Visconti patented hook safe lock on it, and it does have a 18 karat gold. This is a newer in-house 18 karat gold nib from Visconti, and that's a medium nib. But I do like this a lot. I do find that I like the Medicis. I do find that I like the Visconti Homo Sapiens. So I'm very glad that I was able to pick that one up when I did, and I got it for a fairly good price as well. So it's always good if you can get it for a good price. The next pen here is the Visconti. Again, it's a Medici, but it's the Il Magnifico. So this is made of solid silver cap, solid silver section, solid silver Powervac knob, and it is vermeiled in gold, so that's why it's a gold color and not a silver color. It's also made of this Lapis Lazuli granite or marble, and that is very beautiful. So I'm glad that I was able to pick that up. The Lapis Lazuli doesn't have a lot of veins in it like the Magnifico, the red marble, and also the black or Nero marble has, but it's equally a nice pen. It's a very heavy pen. It's again got the hook safe lock mechanism there. It is a Powervac. It's a single reservoir. Again, it has the number 6 size 18 karat gold nib. It's a new nib from Visconti, and that's a medium nib. But again, I just find that these length of pens, in terms of the full length, including cap, but also the length without the cap, is just right for me. And I have to say that's normally a pen around about 130 millimeters, 128 to 130 millimeters. That typically is what I prefer to be my ideal length pen for long writing sessions. The more weightier pen, obviously, this is much more weightier than the original Medici there, because it's marble and it's silver, solid silver. I typically find that it's better for shorter writing sessions, although I can go on with some longer writing sessions with it as well. The next pen, which I haven't inked up for a while, is the Visconti Homo Sapiens Caput Mundi. Now, this was a limited edition from Visconti, and you can see there is no gemstone on this. This was a limited edition, and I think you'll see there, if I show you on the cat band, it says 7 of 50. So there were only 50 of these made. And then Visconti made some for the US market, which I think it was for chastity luxuries mostly. And they called it the red wine, which was identical. It was just, instead of the bronze clip, it was a, I believe, a silver trim and a ruthenium trim, and 28 in each, I believe. It's a great pen. I like demonstrators. It is a power vac. It's a double reservoir because you have got that ink window here. You've got the hook safe lock mechanism. It's the older 23 cat palladium nibs. It's a medium nib there. Again, ABS plastic feed. But I just find that these are really, really good in the size of my hand. So I do like how they write. It doesn't have the gemstone there. I have put my initials on though, because this wasn't a gemstone edition or Demostone edition pen. The newer version that I have here is the Demonstones, so it's the Visconti Homo Sapiens Demonstones, and this is in the blue. They have brought out the red and they brought out the green in the Demonstones, but I just don't at this moment in time see the need to get them because I've got a red and a green anyway. So that does have the Demostone glued in place, and then you have the Visconti logo there on the end, which you don't have on the Caput Mundi or the Jade. It is a power vac filler. It's a double reservoir. Again, you've got the ink window. You've got the hook safe lock mechanism. Now, this does have the 14 carat new nib, in-house nib from Visconti. You'll see that it has a very different design on that nib. It's not a design that I am really liking. I much prefer the older Visconti design. I don't know why they did that. I think maybe it's just they wanted to try something different in terms of branding. Again, the pen is the correct size of my hand. It's got an ABS plastic feed there, concave section. I just find that this is a very comfortable pen to write with, and more so for longer writing sessions. Now, before the Demonstones came out, there was this one, and this is the Visconti Homo Sapiens Jade. Now, that does have a gemstone, which is, again, glued in place. You don't have the Visconti My Pen finial there, so this came before the Demonstones. It is a power vac filler. It is a double reservoir again. And you've got the hook safe lock mechanism there. It's got the older 23 cat palladium medium nib with an ABS plastic feed. Again, concave section. I just find that these are very, very comfortable. I have seen some people complain about the length of the section being so short that you are actually putting your thumb on that hook safe lock. Yes, you are a little bit. It never bothers me though. So I know it might bother some people, but it doesn't bother me. So that one I will have inked up this week as well. And then another one I decided that it would be fitting to try would be inking up my Visconti Homo Sapiens Midnight in Florence again. So this is a beautiful wave pattern of purple and sort of lavender lilac colours. With some hints of blue in there as well. Again, this is a power vac filler. It's a double reservoir. You don't have much of it. It's a clear ink window here that you see around the body, but it's not. So it's not sort of semi-opaque like these three. But you do have a lot of this swirl that actually reduces how much ink you can actually see. It does have the hook safe lock mechanism. It does have the older 23 cat palladium medium nib on it with an ABS plastic feed. But again, like, I just find that these are comfortable to write with. Um, can you post the caps? Yes, you can on all of these. Um, would I want to do so? Probably not. But I know some of you do prefer to want to do so. And then you have the Visconti My Pen cap finial there as well. So that's really the difference between like the older non-demo stones with the new demo stone, and then you've got just a regular Visconti Homo Sapiens resin there. The next pen here is a pen that I've added again recently, is the Esterbrook Estie. This is an oversize, it's a sparkle technically, and this is called the Cosmic Wine, and you'll see there that that has a lot of glitter. Now this is made of a diamond cast material. That is a material made by Mackenzie Penworks, and that actually does have real diamond dust infused into the resin, so that's what makes it sparkle. Although typically I would say that there's probably a lot of other sparkly things in this pen as well, because I'm seeing a lot of different colors there. It's not just like a silver glitter or a diamond glitter. Now if I unscrew this, you do have a clutch mechanism here to try and seal off the nib. It's a cartridge converter pen. You've got metal threads there. The nib is an Esterbrook nib there, and that is a still fine nib that I've got on this pen. Can I post the cap? You can, but as you can see there, it tapers in, and it just doesn't, it wobbles around a bit. It doesn't post that securely. Like, it will post securely, but it always feels like it's gonna come off to me. So it's not a great pen, I'd say, for posting a cap. Again, I don't post caps, so for me that's not an issue, but for some it may be. The next pen here, which I picked up before the Cosmic Wine, is an Esterbrook Estie Oversize. Again, it's a sparkle. This was I think the original one. This is called the Gold Rush Prospector, and I've always wanted this, but I didn't get it early on because I hadn't started buying Esterbrook's back then, and I missed out on it. I have seen a bunch of these in the non-oversized version. I do want the oversized. I managed to find somebody in the US on eBay selling it, so I bought it, and I'm absolutely amazed that this is a really, really good pattern that I managed to pick up. They only had one in stock, so I had to get this with a fine nib as well. I didn't have a choice there, but that's the Esterbrook steel nib 1858 there. So again, it's a cartridge converter pen. You've got the metal threads there. You've got that clutch mechanism, which is a bit spring-loaded. You have to push it in and twist. But I have that one inked up with me today as well. And a couple that I had inked up last week as well are the London Pen Company Christopher 14. This is a faceted cap, and the material is made out of the Conway Stewart Honey Noire. It's a beautiful material, and I have to say I really am liking that material a lot. So I'm really glad that I was able to add this to my collection. This is a Bock steel nib, and I believe, because they're not marked, I believe that's a broad nib. The filling system is a cartridge converter. I do like this pen a lot. I love that material. So Sean was asking me what kind of material I would like from Conway Stewart, and I didn't mention this one. I had seen that material before, but he surprised me with this. So I'm very, very glad that I was able to add that to my collection. And then the last pen I have here inked up is a Ryan Krusac custom made pen. It's a Legends 16. This one is called the Dragon Slayer. So the cap is made out of wood, and you can see dragon scales carved into it. The body here is made out of antler, and it's laser etched, and you can see the dragon there, and you can see it breathing fire onto the Dragon Slayer. I'm not so much sure he is a good Dragon Slayer, because he's certainly taken a brunt there from that dragon in terms of fire. But it's a really good pen, and I have to say I do like this pen a lot. I probably will add more Ryan Krusac pens to my collection at some point, because this does speak to me. This is number, you can see there, number 99 of 150. He has a number of other models. The Legend 16s, he has a Legend 15, 14, I think 13. But he also has other engraved models as well. At the moment, the Dragon one is the one that really speaks to me. And if I unscrew the cap, you have, I think that's a plastic section. I know on some of his pens they were ebonite. It just feels a little bit more plastic rather than ebonite. I might be wrong there though. And it has a Yovo steel nib with RK engraved into it. It's a fine nib. And again, it's a cartridge converter pen. Legend 16 it basically refers to 16 millimeters around the thread. This is a chunky pen. Most pens are normally 13 to 14 millimeters. So you can probably understand that that's a little bit more wider. I have that pen inked up with me this week as well. So I think with that, let's go and do a writing sample. So the first pen we'll do a writing sample on is the Visconti and Medici Golden Black. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is quite a wet writing nib. It's not a fire hose nib, I'd say, but it's still fairly wet writing. So this is the Visconti Medici, and it's the Golden Black, and it is a medium, and it's the newer 18 cat gold nib from Visconti. And then the ink in here is KWZ Nuki Brown, which is a lovely colour ink. The next pen inked up is the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is a really lovely blue ink. I have always liked blue inks. I've liked turquoisey a little bit more. But I then come across an ink called Papier Plume Forget Me Not Blue, which I have one bottle of, and I used about half a bottle of it. And then I was on the search for an ink that had an almost same lavender hue blue. And after probably, I think, 7 or 8 bottles of inks I'd bought, I managed to get one that was almost identical, and it's this colour. So this is the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico, and it's the Lapis Lazuli, and it's a medium, and it's an 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Pilot Iroshizuku Ajise. Now, I said I was on a hunt for an ink to replace Papier Plume Forget Me Not Blue. I could have just bought a load of bottles from Papier Plume, and I was actually looking at doing so. But then there was the import tax, which then doubled the price almost. And I just thought, you know what? Let's try and find an ink that I can actually get easily in the UK. And I looked at some hairband inks, I looked at some diamine inks, and none of them, although the online swatches looked identical, none of them in real life looked identical until I found this one. And I will now be buying more bottles of this because I don't want to run out of that ink. The next pen inked up is the Visconti Homo Sapiens Caput Mundi. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this also is quite a wet writing pen as well. It depends on the ink. The ink that I've got here today is a little bit more on the drier side. So this is the Visconti Homo Sapiens, and it's Caput Mundi, and it is a medium, and it's a 23 cat palladium nib, and then the ink in here is Pelican, Edelstein, and it's Garnet, which is actually quite a nice red ink. And I didn't think I would like this ink as much as I do now. The next pen is the Visconti Homo Sapiens, and this is the Demonstones in blue sapphire. We'll do an ink swatch. And this is a lovely turquoisey blue colour ink. Maybe doesn't match the colour of this pen exactly, but I do like it a lot. So this is the Visconti Homo Sapiens Demonstones, and it is the blue and sapphire, I believe it's called. At least that's what I call it anyway. And it's a medium. It's the newer 18 cat. Oh, no, it's a 14 cat. I always been doing this lately. It's a 14 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Visconti turquoise. I think the reason why I do that is that this is, I think, my only Visconti 14 cat gold nib. Actually, no, I do have some older 14 cat gold nibs in my Visconti Voyagers, but in Homo Sapiens, that is my only 14 cat gold nib. The next pen is the Visconti Homo Sapiens Jade. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And this is more of a jade coloured ink. Probably doesn't match the colour of the pen. I definitely wouldn't say that's a jade colour, to be honest, of the pen. But it's a nice green colour, though, I have to say. And this is the Visconti Homo Sapiens. And it's the jade. And it's a medium 23 cat palladium nib. And then the ink in here is Pelican, Edelstein, Jade, really to match the name of the pen more than the colour of the ink. The next pen here, inked up this week, is the Visconti Homo Sapiens Midnight in Florence. So again, we'll do an ink swatch here. Now, this is a purple coloured pen, so a purple coloured ink is what I prefer. Now, this is the Visconti Homo Sapiens, and it's Midnight in Florence, and it is a medium, and it's a 23 cat palladium nib, and then the ink in here is KWZ, and it's Gummy Berry, which is a purple ink that I do like a lot. I know a lot of people don't like KWZ because they have a little bit of a vanilla type smell to the inks. It doesn't really bother me, although I do find it a little bit on the potent side. So I can understand why some people don't like the smell of the KWZ inks. And I believe it's the antifungal property that actually makes that smell. The next pen inked up is the Esterbrook Estie Oversize in the Cosmic Wine. So again, we'll do an ink swatch here. And this is a fine Western nib. And I want to say that this almost, to me, writes more like an extra fine. But I'm not normally used to fine nibs, or I've got quite a few fine nibs, but not as fine as this. So this is the Esterbrook Estie, and it's the Cosmic wine, and it is a fine, and it's a still Yovo nib. And then the ink in here, I put in Diamine Wine Divine, which is a shimmering ink, but I avoided picking up most of the shimmer. I just wanted the Wine Divine colour of ink, and I think that comes through quite nicely. The next pen inked up is the Esterbrook Estie Oversize. This is in the Gold Rush Prospector. We'll do an ink swatch. And again, this is another fine nib. I do find that maybe it's just the ink, maybe it is the nib, but I do find that this one writes a little bit wider, perhaps, than, well, a little bit wetter, maybe, than the Cosmic wine. So this is the Esterbrook. Yeah, I'd say it's about the same nib width. Estie. And this is the Gold Rush. And it's the Prospector. And it is a fine, and again, it is a steel nib. And the ink in here is KWZ, and it's old gold, which once dry is actually a really nice, more golder colour ink. The next pen inked up is the London Pen Company, Christopher 14 with a faceted cap, and this is in the Conway Stewart Honey Noire material. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is quite a nice colour ink. So this is the London Pen Company, and this is the Christopher 14, and it's in the Honey Noire, and it is a broad, it's a steel Bock nib, and the ink in here is Diamine, and it's ochre, which is a nice colour ink. And then the last pen inked up this week is the Ryan Krusac Legend 16, and this is in the Dragon Slayer. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is a fine nib. I decided I would try and go for a fine Yovo nib. So this is the Ryan Krusac. It's the Legend 16 in the Dragon Slayer. And it is, actually I say fine, sorry, it's a medium nib. It typically writes a little bit more finer than what I would be used to, I think, with a medium. I think that's why I thought it was a fine nib. And it's a still Yovo nib. And then the ink in here is Noodler's Apache Sunset, which is a very lovely fiery orange ink, which is very good at shading. So if you have a medium or broad or a stub nib, do try and put Noodler's Apache Sunset in, because it will shade really well. Even more so on paper like Rhodia or Tomoe River paper. So I think let's take a look at these pens inked up one more time. We have a Visconti Medici Golden Black in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with KWZ Nuki Brown. We have a Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the Lapis Lazuli in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Pilot Roshizuku Aji Sei. We have a Visconti Homo Sapiens Caput Mundi in a medium 23 karat palladium nib inked up with Pelican Edelstein Garnet. We have a Visconti Homo Sapiens Demostone in blue sapphire in a medium 14 karat gold nib inked up with Visconti Turquoise. We have a Visconti Homo Sapiens Jade in a medium 23 karat palladium nib inked up with Pelican Edelstein Jade. We have a Visconti Homo Sapiens Midnight in Florence in a medium 23 karat palladium nib inked up with KWZ Gummy Berry. We have an Esterbrook Estie Cosmic Wine in a fine steel nib inked up with Diamine Wine Divine. We have a Esterbrook Estie Gold Rush Prospector in a fine steel nib inked up with KWZ Old Gold. We have a London Pen Company Christopher 14, and this is in the Honey Noire with a broad steel nib inked up with Diamine Ochre. And then we have a Ryan Krusac Legend 16, and that's the Dragon Slayer in a medium steel nib inked up with Noodler's Apache Sunset. So there you have it. That's my currently ink pens for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye-bye.